What even is dubstep? Is this dubstep? Or is this dubstep? Yes, we are talking about brostep in this video. Womp womp, get clickbaited, you casual. I am the last person to genre police y'all because I genuinely don't care. So what makes brostep sound objectively good? Like the good old 2012 music. Can you believe it was more than 10 years ago? Anyways, I broke them down into these following components: the drums, sound design, melody, theming, and arrangement. We would go through each of these components one by one and make objectively the worst music you've ever heard. Brostep, which I would refer to as dubstep for the rest of this video, is known for making crackheads like you and me, or just you, or maybe just me, headbang so hard at the rave, the barricades fall over, followed by the people. They are moving mainly to the beat, which is highlighted by the 4 on the floor kick pattern. Most people do it in halftime, where during the dominant beats, beats 1 and 3, the people bend over, very zesty, and during the weaker 2 and 4 beats, the people stand up straight again. Very cool. This effect is accentuated by the bass patterns. For our case, we don't want the beat to be headbangable. We do not want a clear rhythm for the people, so instead of using 4 on the floor, we can use a kick pattern like Clave 3-2 to ensure no one can headbang to it. You might say we can use polyrhythm like 5-7. Unfortunately, some dubstep artists have already done that and have great success. We kinda want the opposite of that. For the intro and build-up, it is really simple. We just make all the kick sounds play on the beat, and make all the other sounds play off beat. Now, sound design. I know some people argue that dubstep is the hottest EDM genre to produce because of the sound design. There is so much depth that go into filtering, modulation, etc. In most dubstep subgenres, you want the bass to sound powerful, full, and interesting. The power comes from a clear and non-conflicting low end. By non-conflicting, I mean the bass's bass is carefully put into the mix with elements such as the kick's sub and other sounds low end, sidechain, or cutaway, so it does not interfere at all. Fullness comes from carefully controlled mids and highs. Usually, people want dubstep bass to stretch over multiple zones of the EQ, especially with more minimalist dubstep genres, like rhythm or old-school Skrillex. This is because there aren't a lot of instruments, so you want the few elements to take up more of the spectrum. The lows are taken up by the sub of the bass and the sub of the kick. Parts of the highs are taken up by the cymbals, crashes, and whatnot. The rest of the region has to be filled up with dubstep bass. Interest comes from modulation, change over time. I know there are very successful dubstep songs with basses that do not have much movement to it, but it still does if you look closely to the attack, most cases. And this brings us to the overall takeaway. These three components do not have to be perfectly balanced to a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio in a metaphorical sense, but it has to be thoughtfully considered during the sound design process. In our case, we can simply remove the bass, remove parts of the mid, and only use one modulation curve throughout the whole song to make the arrangement sound as uninteresting as possible. Also, you want to use the vowel wavetable to have it sound as annoying as possible. A huge majority of dubstep songs are in the minor scale because the minor scale sounds more emotional, and we all know that dubstep is a very emotional genre. What would make a dubstep song sound silly is if the whole melody was on a major scale. A major scale that starts on the tonic. What about a major scale that starts on the tonic in 5/4? The perfect fifth is perfect because in almost all popular scale modes, it is the same notes, like major or minor. This makes harmonizing with complex sound design things a lot more intuitive and easy listening. Let's also have our melody not have the perfect fifth. Now let's talk about themes. Every song, no matter the genre, has a theme to it. For dubstep, there are a million ways to get a consistent theme, which is really important. Glue. Not in terms of eating, that is bad, but as an element to make the whole song sound cohesive or fitting to a theme. It is good. A common way to do this is to use an arpeggiator, which plays a sequence of notes. Usually something that reassembles an arpeggio. Usually quickly on repeat. I don't really have notes or remarks for this part except to make it sound as stupid and as offbeat as possible by choosing notes that are in dissonance when played in a chord. Okay, now we got the drums, we got the growls, we have the melody, and we have this thing. Now, all we have to work on is the arrangement. Our song structure would be one intro, one build-up, and one drop. Just one, no unit, one. The reason is because this is a YouTube video and I don't know how to release music lol. So, for the intro, we want to build a theme with the most random sample. The type of randomness that makes people question their existence. This could easily be done with vocal samples. For the build-up, we do not want to build too much suspense. Instead, we should replace it with confusion. Make sure not to tease any elements for the drop. Also, make sure to utilize fake drops and make double sure to not put it in the correct position. And why not make the fake drop have more energy and volume than the actual drop? For the drops and whatnot, make sure to use stock instruments, especially the stock grand piano of Ableton. That thing is objectively amazing for this video. Also, we might want to use the most goofy art stock drums we can find. Also, silence sometimes is really effective at making whatever follows have more impact. So we can utilize silence and put it in the wrong place. Among all that, we can do some overall tweaks to pimp our dubstep. Ask any DJ or musician. They will tell you they love BPM changes mid-song. So we are adding that. And also add this thing to the front to force people to manually set watt markers. So yeah, I think we have created objectively the worst dubstep song. Cue the final product.
Bombardiro crocodilo. Trallallero trallallà. Bombardiro crocodilo. Trallallero trallallà.
Alright, this is already too much playback for my liking. I can feel my brain cells actively leaving through my ear holes. So, do you think I missed something? Well, definitely. This video is only
8 minutes long.
Comments below what you think I could have done to make this sound objectively worse. Like and subscribe and whatever, and cue the outro music, but I don't have one, so I'll make some 2014 outro music for my next video. For now, enjoy this banger and I'll see you next time.
Thank you.